game called Awakening. Today, my guest he has a channel. It's called 007. I've got it in the show more notes. So anybody that doesn't catch it as a moderator posts it or something, it is down there for you guys. He goes by Rich or Richie. So I will be calling him Richie. And right now, I'm going to allow him to tell you a little bit about himself and his channel. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you very much there. That's very kind of you. So, hello, my name's Richie. Otherwise known as 007. Otherwise known as Richie Richmeister. Otherwise known as Richard. And otherwise known as that knobhead over there. I talk normally now, right? I'm a bit of a weirdo. I like to do different voices, different parts of my personality that come out at different times. The ones that are most confrontational and they're also friendly. The ones like this guy, Tyrone. Seriously, I'm going to come across like a complete nut tonight. My name's Richard, otherwise known as Richie, or Some Guy. My musical stage name is Some Guy, and my YouTube channel is 007. I'm kind of trying to shout a little bit because I know that my cars I'm driving at the moment, as you can see, it synchronizes beautifully with Michelle's backdrop. So I'm just about to pull over now, and hopefully Michelle will be able to tell me if it's actually got better and if I've got louder or if I do need to put my microphone in. My channel has a mixture of stuff on it. It's not since I've been away that I've been creating. I started creating last year. There we go. Let me pull over here. This is the top of my village. My village is over there. And I'll turn the old camarada around. So it's in face, all right? That nut job, what's just been speaking to you in the silly voices. Yeah, that's me, innit? Hello, my name's 007. I started creating videos last year. I was following a guy called Quinn Michaels and another guy called Richie from Boston. Richie from Boston! I love Richie from Boston, right? And I love Quinn Michaels. I love everybody, man. Just tell me, Michelle, are you listening? Can you tell me if I need to plug my microphone in or if I'm all right now?
Guys, how's the sound for you guys in the chat? Is everybody hearing him okay? Because for me, he's coming through a little faint.
I can plug my earphones in. It's just the trouble is I have to unplug the power, and then we've got a limited time because my phone is the battery's not it wasn't a full battery. So anyway, I'll tell you what. I'll plug my earphones in for a bit.
That'd be great.
My channel is a mixture of videos, and when I first started creating, if you look at the first video from last year, I talked briefly about my family history and the reason for me starting to create. It's all about using proactive logic and becoming involved in the game rather than sitting on the side as a bystander and watching things happen. Right, hang on a sec. Yeah.
And while he's doing that, guys, please respond and let me know about the sound issue with him, if we can hear him better. Oh, I can hear you so much better now. Yes.
There we go.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
So, my first video from last year said, I'm going to get in this because I want to spread the truth. But as I watched more videos and as time progressed, all I could see was people putting out the same thing. Now, not the same videos, not the same content, but the same
feeling behind all of the content, which was fear, 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 fear. Be afraid of this, be afraid of that, be afraid of this, be afraid of that. This is happening. 5G, demons, jinn, blooming psychopathic, narcissistic, crazy nut job leaders that are just trying to steal our souls, and it's all fear. And I thought that's actually not what I want to do, because if I start spreading this sort of truth, what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the fear more, and all it is fear porn to keep everybody afraid. And I was still on the journey myself of self-realization, realizing exactly what's going on here, and also recognizing myself, because I was a man walking around with a huge, not with a huge ego. I was a man walking around with a really, really strong ego, a really good sense of myself, of I. I had a good sense of I, but I recognized somebody else within me that was more thoughtful and more compassionate than I am, because I can be quite obnoxious and arrogant and belligerent and stubborn.
So separating the good ego from the bad ego.
Yeah, and I would say that the good ego, I mean, no, I wouldn't say that there's a good and a bad ego, right? Personally, I would say that there's ego, and there's many different facets of your ego, depending on your experiences in life. Now, funnily enough, I've had spent an evening with a friend of mine, my girlfriend and a friend of mine. She's homosexual. She's a lovely, lovely lady. She's 42 years old. And I found out tonight, this. I didn't know this. She's a bit of an oddball. She's a little bit, scatterbrained and kooky, and she's a little bit slow when she speaks, and she's a bit weird, right? And a lot of people don't understand her. Tonight, I found out that basically she's a victim of horrific physical, mental abuse. Her father she used to live in the dog kennel, chained up in the dog kennel like this, and the dogs used to bring her scraps of their food, and she would eat it. The dogs would bring her scraps of food for her to eat. The dogs kept her alive in the kennel, and her dad pimped her out to his mates.
That's terrible.
Basically.
And this is the woman that you're in a relationship with now?
No. This is the woman that we've just gone to go and see.
Oh, okay.
We're to go and take her out for a drink and a coffee, and because she's been experiencing some bad shit with her ex-girlfriend. She's gone from one relationship to the next, and every single relationship has ended up the same. The person's been a narcissistic nut job that's just hurt her. And she was 10 years with a complete narcissist, and that person is still screwing with her mind. So she was beaten. She said she was really badly, nearly killed, beaten up so many times, nearly killed. She's been raped. She's absolutely been through the ringer like you wouldn't believe. And talking to her humbled me and made me realize that it doesn't matter what pain I've been through. It doesn't matter that pain. My experience of this life doesn't even compare to hers. And I asked her if she'd be prepared to do an interview. And I think she's going to do an interview with me, but it's going to be an audio interview. So we disguise her voice and we disguise her. We won't have her face on there, because, this is really, she didn't mean to share this information with me tonight. It was just we were talking and it came out.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, well,
I seem to have that effect on people.
That's great. So it sounds like you got some wonderful things coming up on your channel. What I want to talk to you about is the video that I came across where I met you, and through this video, a friend recommended that I watch it. It was the video where you actually showed yourself in a very masculine yet vulnerable state, in the state of euphoria, the transition, the feeling of your heart, the self-recognition. What do you have to share, on that? What were you feeling in that moment when you were making that video that prompted you to turn that camera on and show the world what you were going through? What was going on with you there?
A feeling that I've never experienced before. Never before in my life. I've had feelings, I've had times where the feeling has come close to it. It was when I was younger. I remember when I was younger, feelings that came close to pure joy, pure, like heartfelt down to your very core, deep set happiness and joy. But this was different because this is a deep inset happiness and joy that I know will never leave me now. I know it will never leave me now. I know, absolutely, I know. It doesn't matter what they do to me. It doesn't matter what happens. They can separate me from my spirit, but they can't separate me from my soul.
Was that, were you doing something? Were you seeking for the truth? I mean, was there anything going on in your life that made this manifest for you, this blessing, this gift?
I began my journey, probably, sorry, I'm a smoker. I hope nobody minds.
Smoke them if you got them. I smoke too.
So yeah, I began this journey. Wow, it's a difficult question to answer because really I've been looking my entire life. Right, I have Have you heard the story of my grandfather yet?
Yes.
Yeah, and him coming.
But that doesn't mean that everybody in this room has. If you can, make it brief or summary.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
Remember, we're not in a hangout, dude. We're live.
Okay, so my grandfather was a Mason. My dad was a Mason. My grandfather was a Mason. His father, his father's father, his father's father's father. You can look up my family name, and you can look up Hewenden Lodge in High Wycombe. And it was one of my great grandfathers that founded Hewenden Lodge. And then it was either my great or my great great grandfather held the sword to Prince Philip's throat when Prince Philip took the oath for his 32nd degree, which is in Masonry, which is taken under pain of death. And they hold a sword to the throat, the same as the Jesuits do. When the Jesuits take the full oath, they have to do it with the sword to the throat, because it's if you break this oath, you will be killed. You will die. You will forfeit your life for breaking the oath. Right? My dad was the firstborn son. His dad was the firstborn son. It's the firstborn son thing. Firstborn son pledged to Masonry or whatever. I don't know. It has an automatic in with the Masons. My dad got in, but he only made it to the 3rd degree. Which he thought was really high. When I questioned him about it a couple of years ago, he said, I was an extremely high Mason. I was a Master Mason or whatever it was, Grand Master Mason. He said, I was at the 3rd degree. And I said, Dad, you do know that there's 33 degrees, don't you? So technically you weren't really very high. In fact, you were almost at the bottom. So we can't really talk about this anymore because you can't answer my questions because you don't know. And I haven't spoken to my dad since.
Oh, that's a shame. Because even at the 3rd degree, he would still have information to share with you.
Okay. He can't, though. He's not allowed to. As a Mason, they're not allowed to share that information.
That's right. They swear that blood oath.
That was no, that's not a blood oath. So the 3rd degree, it's not a blood oath. It's just an oath. At the 32nd degree, it's a blood oath on pain of death. But the 3rd degree is nothing that heavy. The 3rd degree, they're still doing good works. They're doing all the good works to offset the bad. That's why the Freemasons are so heavily involved in local charities and local events, and all the Freemasons did this for us, and the Freemasons did this
Shriners,
for us. Wow.
Right? Aren't the Shriners an off branch of Freemasonry?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but they're not a very good off branch, I don't think. I have a friend, actually, the person that we were talking about just now, and you mentioned his name.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say it. But that person that begins with D, he comes from a Shriner family, so he doesn't have very good. He doesn't have a very good perception of the Shriners.
Mm.
When I was about 5.5, 6 years old. Well, no, when I was about 5.5, 6 years old, something happened, and my father and my grandfather were no longer Masons. I think they had an argument. My grandfather didn't. What I come to understand now is that my grandfather didn't want to be a Mason anymore, and he didn't want me to be a Mason. Right, and what I know about my father is my father's a 5'9", 9-stone man. He's a tiny little man with a huge ego, and that was the only thing that was going for him. Right, was his ego and his confidence and his self-belief. So he was a master Mason, and the lodge that he was a member of was the lodge that my great-great-grandfather founded, right? And some of the people that went into that lodge were very, very powerful, very high-level men. And he managed to land himself a job as the international sales director. He did electrical engineering. He became international sales director for one of the biggest microelectronics manufacturers and distributors in America, called Vitramon. If you go and look up Vitramon, Somebody Google Vitramon, America, microelectronics, right? He was the international sales director, and then he, on his 27th birthday, somewhere about his 27th birthday, he became managing director of the entire company. I was born on the 23rd of September, 1977.
Wow.
And
talk about numbers.
Yeah.
7, 9, 23.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was born on the 23rd of September, 1977. And 6 months later, my grandfather died. And after that, all my dad's business ventures. He ended up by the time I was 6 years old, my dad was trying to run his own business. He'd split off from the company that he was managing director of, and he decided that he could do it himself. He could do this. Yeah, he could be a distributor. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to set up a company called ACM.
Can I ask you a question, Richie?
Yeah.
On you had talked to me about something that happened that is actually pretty fascinating to me, and has stuck with me. You said that when you were young, you were having a full-on conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting to. I was just getting.
I'm just trying, for the sake of time, instead of
no, that's good. I need that.
Yeah.
That's good. All right.
So we'll bring everybody up to that amazing testimony you have on that, and then we'll move forward. But you guys, this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. As a small child, this happened to him.
So I was 6.5 years old. I don't remember this night. Okay, I do not have a conscious memory. I do have a conscious memory of Mum and Dad getting back, right? And I have a conscious memory of sitting on the bed and crying when they told me that he was dead. It was sat on their bed. I went from my room to their bed. But when they got home from the hospital, 2.5, 3 hours after they'd switched the machine off, he slipped. Apparently, he was fixing a light bulb, and he slipped on the toilet, cracked his head on the cistern, and he died from he had a brain aneurysm, which basically vegetabilized him. And they told him they told my dad that the machine had to be switched off because his consciousness had left his build. Basically Elvis had left the building. So, Mum and Dad, it was about 2.5, 3 hours later when they got home. And when they got home, I was sat in my room. Apparently, my room was we had a 2-story house. My room, the stairs went up here, and my room was here. So the stairs went here, and my room was here. So when you went up the stairs, you got to the top of the stairs, you could hear what was going on in my room. And my parents heard me talking to somebody, and they said I was having quite an adult conversation with whoever it was. They could only hear me talking, but I was having an adult conversation with myself, And they stood outside and listened for a short time, And then they came in and they said, what? And I got upset and said, oh, you scared him. He's gone now. He's gone. They said, who's gone? I said, Granddad. And they said, Dad just burst into tears and left the room. And Mum said, you couldn't have spoken to Granddad, honey, because Granddad died at 2 o'clock this morning or whatever it was. And then they explained later that they'd had to switch the machine off. But
that's an amazing thing to happen at 6.5 years old. I mean, you still have the childlike wonder, anything is possible. So to sit there and have a full-on conversation with your grandfather, it was real to you. And then when they say he's gone, it's like, what? You're 6.5 years old. You're still,
I still don't have a conscious memory of this though. Like, I don't have a conscious memory of the conversation with him. I just feel I know what he told me. Now that I understand, I feel I know. And it's like I had to find the room with the book in it, right, before somebody could unlock the book and show me it. I had to find the room I had to find the room with the book in it, with the key, right? And when I got there, once I found the room, somebody would appear with the key to show me, and I could look in the book and see everything.
So I'm wondering, are you thinking that since you have an ancestry in Freemasonry, that could be a possibility too, because of its bloodline, that you're having this awakening process, whether you're in the Illuminati, Freemason or not, it's in your bloodline, in your ancestry. So I'll tell
you what I feel happened. This is what I feel happened. So I'm going to speak as if it happened. Right, but I can't say, I'm not going to, this is my disclaimer, I'm not going to say that this is actually what happened. It's just, this is how I understand it now, this is how it all makes sense to me now, and this is how I feel in my heart. This is what I feel.
What we're describing here is your awakening, right?
I don't know what I know. I just know that I know it, and I know what I know. I can't. I know what I know, but I don't know what it is. Though, yeah.
But you do know. I mean, it's an inner knowing, and that's why I try to express it out the best you can. I call it an awakening.
Look!
Look at what?
Oh, missed it. Oh, there's a little bunny rabbit. Oh,
synchronicities.
Little bunny rabbit.
So okay,
sorry, that was mine. Yeah.
So what I'm looking at is an awakening. This amazing thing happened to you.
Yeah,
you filmed yourself.
The awakening didn't start then. My awakening didn't start then.
Your journey may not have, but maybe you had an aha moment. When did your journey actually start?
My journey began in 2013.
2013. Okay.
My conscious journey, where I said, do you know what? What happened was I was really deeply depressed and suicidal. I would never, ever, ever kill myself. I would never kill myself. But every single day I woke up thinking, oh, God, I've woken up again. Maybe I'll get hit by a bus today. Maybe I'll take some drugs that will kill me. Maybe somebody will get pissed off and shoot me in the head. So hopefully something like that will happen. Hopefully I'll just get in a car accident, right? And this time I won't survive it. Or contemplating all the different ways that I could possibly do it. But the messiest, the least messy way, the least disturbing for anybody to find me, if I want an open casket or not, all these things that I'm thinking about, trying to consider my family, trying to consider the person that finds my body, all these things every single day, I would think about this sort of stuff, and for more than 16 years, for a lot, from the age of, every day. From my car crash, from my car accident, every day since my car accident. Not obviously it stopped when I discovered something. I've had several aha moments. I've had several moments where you know what you were saying about the moving from the transition from 4D to 5D, the new Earth. Oh, and the new Earth, where's it going to be? Is it going to be adjacent to our Earth? Is it going to be the same as our Earth? What's it going to be? The new Earth. We're freaking here. This is the new Earth. The new Earth is a paradigm shift. Exactly as you said, it's a complete, everything will go like that. Click, and everybody's perception will be different. Everybody's, It's just everything will change once enough people are actually conscious of what's happening and conscious of themselves and aware of their own abilities to manifest and look at how, and once they understand how they've manifested all the things that have happened to them in their lives, right? It starts at an event, generally with somebody that's it's been, their life has just been a fucking, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry. It just sounds like fudge to me, right, guys?
I said trucking.
Okay, you're okay.
I said trucking. All right.
Go back onto your awakening paradigm shift, and thank you for the nice compliment. You probably watched my video, New Earth. Thank you. I'm honored. Okay, you're talking about the New Earth, the paradigm shift, and you got a little excited there, but pick up where you left off there, because
yeah, my train of thought's just gone.
And you brought up the gifts and the, and that's and people, understanding that they're creating these things, that then they're experiencing them and taking responsibility and understand. It's a huge, and you're right, it's a complete paradigm shift.
This person that I was talking to tonight, right? Her name, let's call her Sarah.
Miss.
Let's call her Sarah. Right, that's not her name. It doesn't even, her name does not begin with an S. All right.
Okay.
So Sarah had this horrific, like beyond most normal people's contemplation. It's too painful to imagine what she went through when she was a child, like up to the age of whenever it was when she finally escaped her father, and she went and lived in a sewer because it was the safest place for her to be. Right. Oh man, I was going to make, it's late and I've forgotten, my train of thought's just gone. You know, when you think about something, a thought pops into your head, when you're just about to say something, a thought pops into your head and then it
escapes you. Well,
it
that's
will come back to me
because you're going to interview her. So you guys, the people that have come in later, his channel is in the show more notes. So, he's going to do a voice interview with this woman, which is something to look forward to. Let's get into responsibility as a conscious creator. Now that you have the paradigm shift and you clicked yourself as, using your definition, which was wonderful. You understand that you're creating what's going on, but also so is everybody else around.
I just got a new subscriber. I don't know if they're on your channel because I can't see your chat. But Dark
that's okay. Dark, yes. He's an amazing man too. Wow, we all run in packs.
Thank you, man.
Shout out to Dark Wolf's channel.
Fist bump. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, you got the paradigm shift. Okay, bink. Okay, you popped into perspective. Then you've got. It's like the gifts get stirred up in us. We realize that we're creating, we're manifesting, and then experiencing. But so is everybody else around us. How we then there's a responsibility that comes upon you, because now that you're aware that you are creating, and
I've just remembered what I was saying.
Let's stay on topic here. Let's not drift. Hang on. So
no, it's on this topic. It is on this topic. It's just an example of how she's created, how she's manifested.
You guys, I warned you. He's a chatter guy. He's gonna make me lose my train of thought. It's contagious, Richie. Thanks.
I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just fucking nightmare.
You're making me laugh. Stop. Okay. Well, all right. There's a responsibility that comes along with it. Okay. Finish your thought, because I don't want it to escape you again. Because it's obviously important, because you're wanting to, burst it out.
It was just, it was, I was trying to point it out to her. Okay. She was very, very horrifically abused when she was a kid. She finally escaped. But once she escaped into a horrible, horrible setting, living in a sewer. And in the sewer, she was afraid of everything and everyone. She was, she underwent MK Ultra. Her personality, her ego fractured into 7 personalities. She has 7 personalities that she recognizes, right? They are voices that she perceives in her head, and they are each individual, unique characters, right? They are personalities. There's the little girl. That was the only one that I heard about today, was the little girl. The little girl that's really pissed off and really fucking, like, really, really upset with her. Really upset with what's happened to her and everything, you know? And I said, well, because, you know, the setting that you're in and everything, so all you were focusing on all the time, your mind was focused on fear. Fear and getting, you know, getting... being taken control of, and, you know, being manipulated, being abused, all these
So
things.
you almost make another personality to be able
fear,
to handle the problem.
All fear, right? And then every relationship that she's had since those events has been a toxic one. Every relationship she's had has been toxic. Every physical relationship with a lover.
Another personality to handle that situation?
Right? Because all of the people that she's gone for have all been people with really serious issues, and they're generally alcoholics, and she thinks that she can help them and she can fix them, right? Because she's got over her own alcohol issues, so she thinks she can help other people with that. But she doesn't recognize
change people that are willing to change.
You can only change yourself. You can't change anyone, and you've got no right to change anyone. You cannot, and you should not, and you must not try to change anyone. They have to change themselves because they want to, not because you're telling them they have to.
That's right.
It's their. I'm living freaking proof of that, and that was freaking. I said freaking. All right.
I got you. Okay. Okay. We got about 30 minutes left. I want to talk a little bit about what, now that you've been going through this since 2013. Most people that I find that is a common denominator within almost everybody is they're seeking for the truth, no matter what the cost. And then things get stirred up. Like, you're now aware that you are creating, and then you manifest, and then you experience. So then that's a way of letting go and having forgiveness for everything, because you realize that you were a participant in it. Okay. But has there been anything
maybe an unwilling
else?
or unwitting? You're an unwitting participant in it.
Well, other people are manifesting also around you. So you got to, use discernment. But I want to know has anything else, like, are you having dreams and visions? Is there other things operating in you now since you're awakening? I mean, that's a huge understanding to get that, as you put it, that pop into the perspective of that you're manifesting to experience, and that, yes, we're already on the new earth. I am in agreement with you totally. It is all in a matter of perception. But I've also noticed that within a lot of people, they have dreams and visions, empathy, healing abilities, working with energies. Different things are stirred up within each and every person. Some people can pray in the heavenly language. I mean, there's other gifts that start to manifest in our life. Now, there's no certain order to things. That's one thing for sure that I have figured out. Everybody goes through different things at different times as we're brought along at, we're met where we're at and we're brought along. And when you listen to many voices outside of yourself, that's where you get your confusion. We're learning how to listen to our inner guidance system. But what I'm wanting to ask you is, you've had the big one, the big aha. At least for me, that was a big aha moment, to realize that we are manifesting, co-creating. So is everybody else. We kind of, like the flower life, everything kind of overlays, and then we can choose, whether to participate or not participate, whether to, using our discernment. But there's a lot of responsibility that comes along with being conscious that you're creating. But there's, like I said, I just gave you a list of a bunch of other things that other people are experiencing or opening up within them, these gifts within us. Is there anything else that's going on with you besides being able to talk? When you were younger, you were able to communicate with a loved one, and it was just as real to you until your parents told you it wasn't. That's
that happened. That happened more than once, and I distinctly, vividly remember the second time it happened. But that wasn't an audible. That wasn't. That wasn't him talking to me. That was, I felt his presence. It felt like him, and I asked him if it was him. And the tap that was next to me, which was a really stiff tap that squeaked, turned on fully, without any squeak or anything. It just, 1 minute it wasn't running, and then suddenly it was. It just started running full pelt. Didn't hear any squeak when it turned. Nothing. It just suddenly it was running. And that sort of said to me, yes, it was him. It was there. His energy or something, you know.
I'm still here. I was just typing something in the chat.
I mean, there's so many things I want to say surrounding what you've just said to me, right? But to answer your specific question, I am blessed, right? I've been blessed since birth, and if I get emotional, it's never with sadness. I was blessed, man. I'm extremely talented at everything that I do. I can do it well. I haven't mastered everything, but everything that I turn my hand to, I've done well. And one of the most noticeable things for me was when I was, as a result of my car crash, because I fell asleep at the wheel, it was deemed dangerous driving, and I was pleaded guilty to causing death whilst dangerous driving. And as a result of that was a mandatory custodial sentence. So I served some time at Her Majesty's pleasure. And whilst in there, it was important to me to leave the place with more than I went in there with, for it to have been, because I always said right from day one, God, this is in your hands. This is in your hands. You know me, you know my heart. You know I would never have done it. You know, I'd never done that on purpose. And so whatever happens, I trust that it's what's meant to have happened. And when the judge said, I have no choice but to issue a custodial sentence, I sentence you to 3 years imprisonment. Bailiff, take him down. And that, in that moment, my entire world and my entire universe just kind of imploded in on itself. But I always knew that it's what had to happen, because I was responsible for somebody, not just somebody, an amazing human being. Really, she was her 19th birthday. This was the day after we were traveling back from her 19th birthday, celebrating her 19th birthday. We'd been out all night. I wasn't under the influence of any substances or anything. I'd been drinking Red Bull and Coca-Cola and orange juice all night. I even got out. It was just a long car journey back, and I got out several times to try and wake myself up. They were supposed to, her and my friend were supposed to stay awake and keep talking to me, because if you keep talking to somebody when they're driving, they stay awake naturally. They just stay awake. There's no trick to it. You talk to somebody when they're driving and they'll stay awake. If you don't and they're tired, they might fall asleep, and that's what happened. They fell asleep, and I fell asleep shortly after. Woke up bouncing on on a soft verge, oversteered, had a head-on collision with a van coming the other way. So I've completely not even sure what question I was answering now, because I've gone off into that one. I'm really sorry I do that.
It's okay. That's okay. You're showing that you've got sounds to me like you've got the empathetic heart, which is a blessing in itself. And that is one of the gifts, is empathy for others, seeing the divine in other people, showing the respect for other people.
So the crux of my answer to you is that I already have my gifts, and I've had them my whole life. It's just that I'm able to realize them now, actually, as gifts, as powerful gifts. I always knew they were gifts, but now I recognize them as actual powerful gifts that I have naturally. I'm artistic, I'm creative, I have an excellent ear for music, I'm pitch perfect, I've got an immense life story to draw experience from when writing songs. And I couldn't write songs. I could not write songs. I had the odd song that popped out, but since a week ago, 7 days ago, or however long it's been since I had my experience with the demons, I'm prolific. I can feel all these. It's like I know that if I want to write a song, I'll just sit down and I'll be able to write a song. And I did it. I did it the other day with "Listen to Me."
That's a beautiful song.
Boom. It just popped straight out. It was so easy to write. The lyrics came so easily to me, and it feels like that's going to happen a lot more than it did in the past. When a song came, it just came, and it came out all in one, out. So pure emotion came out about 3 o'clock in the morning. Had this thing going through my head. Sat down, put it down, did a tune, and then this whole song just went out. And and the rest is history. And I felt like I was channeling something, or it was like I wasn't writing the song. I understand now that I was. It was myself writing the song. It was me and myself writing the song.
It's like we are remembering what we forgot.
Yes, that's what I feel like I've done. I feel like I've remembered everything that I've forgotten, and that there's no confusion about it now. And because I feel secure, I'm absolutely confident and happy and safe, and I have no fear of anything now. I don't care if a man comes up and puts a gun to my head now, and says, "Give me a car, I'm gonna blow your face off." I'll just get out of the car and say, "Oh, mate, no worries, take it," or shoot me, whatever.
And if they did that to you, they're actually doing it to themselves. It's just that's what I've noticed is we're all going through this period of awakening, and it happens to people at different times, as you called it, a personal event for you. All these people are waiting for a rapture or an event to happen, but really these events are happening.
Constant events, and the ascension and the rapture. It's not. You will not get lifted out of your body and or you won't get lifted out of your clothes, and they're
folded up
in The Simpsons and in American Dad and in Family Guy. There's just loads of clothes left on the floor because everybody's gone, "Oh, up to heaven." Right. Heaven is real. Heaven is a real place. The concept of heaven is a real place, and it can be right here. And I'm currently in it. My life has turned from hell to more like heaven now. And the heavens are right there.
Yes.
They're right above us.
If you look at the background that I'm running right now, the clouds are actually resting on the mountaintops. And that is actually, guys, see the pyramid in the back? If I will talk long enough so you guys can see the footage, it'll loop back around. That is Pyramid Lake, and it is off of the 5, and you can see the pyramid in the background. Even the little island in the middle looks like a pyramid, but there's actually a chiseled pyramid back there. It is such a beautiful lake.
Is this where you live?
I was heading to my mom's, and I just pulled out my phone and said, this would be absolutely beautiful as a background. So I took a snap, little video clip of it to share with everybody else. It's gorgeous. The skies are gorgeous.
I'm fortunate because of where I live. I've got the volcano in the background. So
nice.
I'm quite fortunate.
Yes, and that I've noticed that, my skies are blue with puffy white clouds now. I don't see those. I don't even want to say them, because if you say them, you think about them, then you make them, so Yeah. Where are you located exactly? Just tell me the country.
The country's Tenerife. It's one of the Canary Islands just off the coast of Africa.
Oh, wow. Okay. So have you met a lot of people around in your area that are going through this transition like you are? Why are you laughing? That's not funny. I really do want to know. I'm curious. I'm always wanting to take the pulse of what's going on with everybody, around the world.
In the last 2 years, because it was, all right, it was I was on a real focused journey of searching for the truth, conspiracy theory investigations from 2013 up till 2016 when I came here to Tenerife. When chance and happenstance brought me here, things happened. My life improved. I got happy. Things improved, and this beautiful girl appeared in my life, and we started a relationship together. And we lasted for about 6 months, and I ended up completely destroyed, my heart ripped out of my chest and torn to pieces in front of me. And then I think she shat on it before she left. But then it was that event that made me stop listening to the voice in my head and start listening to my heart more, and made me dive back into the conspiracy theories. And then shortly after that, I had a very real experience where I very definitely saw the shadow man came into my apartment, tried to make me fall asleep, and then came into my apartment. That's how I perceived it. And I don't know what he was going to do or anything, but it was 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'd been awake for an hour, and I was wide awake. There was no reason why my eyes would not stay open. It was like I was drugged. I felt like I was drugged. And then when I started to lose consciousness, I think I told you about this, didn't I? And I was trying to say, with the authority of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
Right, yes.
I cast you out, and I couldn't say it, and then I just relaxed. And so, Jesus, this demon's trying to stop me from saying it, because this name, Jesus Christ, there's power. And I felt the Spirit of Jesus Christ come into me, and I said it, and I just felt the fear left my body, because I felt the fear starting to rise. The fear left my body. I said, with the authority of the Lord, the authority given to me by my Lord and by the blood of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And before I'd even finished the word Jesus, the thing gone out of the house, out of the apartment, out the same way that it came, and it was like smoke, just like in reverse. You know, like if somebody had blown smoke under the door and it come up, started to form the image of a man, and then you played that footage in reverse very quickly, and it just go whoosh, straight back out again.
Let me ask you a question about that. Now that you know that you're a conscious creator, and that was your belief structure, but actually, I want to ask you something first because I have somebody in the chat that needs to leave. But I want to ask you. We'll come back to the dogma that we have been brought up with. But what I want to ask you is, have you been affected by the Mandela effect? Have you seen the changes? And what are some of
pretty much all of them.
All of them.
All of the majors. Oh, well, I've stopped keeping track of it. I stopped keeping track of it once I realised that it was real and that things were going to would be changing all the time. I tried to keep an eye out for things to see if I can spot something that nobody else has seen, but I figure I've had very personal Mandela effects, right? You can choose to believe this or not, right? I've gone up to the mirror in my bathroom and seen deep scars on my face, right, that weren't there before. I had no knowledge of them, how they were there, how they came, or anything. Deep. I'm talking no mistaking that they were scars, and they were like, one of them looked like something had been stabbed into my face, another one looked like it was a knife wound, right? Just a little, like somebody had just sliced my face open. I'd been injured somehow. I don't know how, maybe running through bushes and a rose bush had caught my face and ripped my face open, and it was the scar from that. But I don't know. But the scars would be there, and I'd recognise them and think, whoa, what's that? Where's that come from? And then later on the day, when I go back to look, it's gone.
Well, I wanted to say that, the gentleman that just subscribed to you, he's doing research into that. He's trying to dive into, trying to do the logic behind, and is actually That's what his channel is about. So, if you've been affected, he's a good resource. It's a good tool. But we also have to take into consideration that, as a conscious creator, of course, things are going to change.
That's what this is. Right. If you ask me, that's what this Mandela effect is. All prophecy talks of a time when the veil will be lifted and we'll see, we'll see everything differently.
Through the very peeking behind the veil.
All prophecy speaks, all sort of prophecies speak of that, yeah? Well, that's all that's happened. This is just a thing to wake us up. This is something to wake us up. Now, I had a theory about it about a year, 18 months ago. My theory was that those of us that were affected, that this was this is a computer simulation, all right, somehow, some sort of 3D simulation, and they're making these changes, and if you do not see the change, then the new program, like the new iOS 13 or whatever, that they've updated this realm 13, with.
Boom. She knows what I'm talking about. Go on.
This
update, iOS 13.
It hasn't taken with me, the programming hasn't taken with me, with the people that don't see the changes, my family that don't see the changes, my family that I sat there and watched the bloody films with. I sat there with my dad and my mum and watched Star Wars and Luke, I am your father. And I watched
That's the same one I had a problem with my family.
Oh man, funny. It's like, wow, how do you not see it? Wow, how? But I've got I've got a hypothesis. I've got a theory about all kinds, why I've woken up, why, we sort of touched on it. I believe my grandfather told me something about the Masons. I think he told me a secret. I don't know if he told me all of the truth or if he just told me something that would set me on a path.
Plant a seed.
Right? Plant a seed that was set me on a path. And I think the seed was I feel that he said, God is real, but he's not what you're told. Right? And, your soul is real, and recognize your ego, like something about I have to work out, it's like I have to recognize, I have to find these things. I have to go out and I have to find these things because they're out there for me to find, and when I find them, it will lead me to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then I'll find the truth, kind of thing,
And it was something that you brought up that was really good is that you said that when you put your hand towards something and even your heart, you'll gain mastery in it. As all of these gifts are arising in each and every one of us, when it takes time to develop them and to get mastery of them. And I don't think that there is like certain people going to do certain things. I think we are all able to do all things. And it's just a matter of growing into it, getting mastery of it, taking responsibility for being a conscious creator, and then moving on. Yes. What do you think about that?
That's the absolute
also,
key,
I wanted to say Dark Wolf is really interested in your theory of what you think the Mandela effect is. You
do you know what? I was just going to go into your, see if I could go into your into your stream, but I can't seem to find it because I wanted to see the
what? You're not subscribed?
No, I am subscribed. Oh, there we go. Hang on.
Giving you a hard time.
Yeah, of course I'm subscribed. Oh, look, there's my ugly mug. Into your stream, but I can't seem to find it. There we go. Because I want to see it. All right. Yeah. So I just thought I can do that, and I can see the chat then.
Yes.
Boom, boom, shake the room. Boom, boom. Subscribe to me, I think.
Yes, she's amazing. You'll really like her. She's really amazing.
Yes,
everybody, you notice almost everybody
are the Holy Trinity. Thank you very much, Boom Boom. You just said it, babe. We ourselves. This is the Holy Trinity. Me, myself, and I. That's the Holy Trinity right there. Me, myself, and I. I am actually going to write a song about it. I'm going to write a song called Me, Myself, and I.
Nice.
I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Dedicated to Bill.
I've just started a new song, actually. I've just started a new song. So maybe that one can be Me, Myself, and I. Yeah. We'll see.
So what your theory
Sorry.
is on the Mandela effect is that we're conscious creators, and that as we're becoming self-aware, we're able to see these changes to kind of reinforce that we're a conscious creator.
Yeah, we can see that there are different versions of reality. We can see now with these changes with the Mandela. Are you affected?
Yes. Yes.
Have you seen the Bible changes?
Yes.
With, like wineskins and bottles,
Yes.
with
Caesar's face on the painting.
trespasses,
Debts.
and debts.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, you see them.
Yes.
All in the KJV, KJV, the King James. Yeah, because it was the King James Bible that received the most attention and the most focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
From
it is
the world,
amazing that the people that are supposedly, really versed on it, that they can't see it
don't know
changing
to
before
change.
their
Yeah.
eyes. And I read the Bible, and I was brought up with a Christian background, and I was able to see it right. It actually, to me, what broke my heart is it's changed the personality of Christ. And from an all forgiving, loving, all mercy, 7
It's
times
brought him
70
down.
forgiveness.
It's brought him down, and it?
Yeah.
It's sort of lowered him.
Yeah, and it's a Christ consciousness is where I think when he's here to teach us the way, and he out of his own words said these things they will do and more in the later time. So he already knew that this time of this self-awareness was coming. We're no longer in faith. We're in the golden age of Aquarius. We're coming out of Pisces and going into Aquarius, and it's a transition, just like you said, a perception shift.
And I think you said it about oh God, what was it? No, go on. It'll come to me in a second. Go on, carry on. Sorry. It was about Jesus.
In the Bible now it says that Jesus tells them to bring those who would not worship him before him, and he will slay them or slay them before him. It's like, what?
Oh God! Do you know the most disturbing one for me? Really, when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, good Jesus! If nobody sees this, if people don't see this change, and they don't see how big a change it is, then they're NPCs. They're non-playing characters. They're soulless vessels.
No,
right?
No, they're just not aware.
No. Listen, this is when I was thinking in that paradigm.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. When I was still in that paradigm of God and devil and outside of us.
Gotcha. Okay.
External power that would judge us. Yeah. Is the one about they're talking about the women and the men. Right. I forget what verse it is. I forget where it is, but they're talking about how basically they make a very, very, very sexually graphic, pornographic insinuation using terms like stallion and basically the semen spraying forth like a stallion.
I've heard about some of those pretty graphic and gross things that have now come up in there.
Because I forget who it was that was discussing it, but she was saying she was really upset. She made a video. She was really upset. She was really, really upset. She was like,
"Me is one that I watch, and she gets very upset about those."
She said, "I was reading this verse, and I started to get sexually aroused." Reading the Bible, it's sex, and when they read it, I listened.
That wouldn't be me.
I listened, and I listened to it, and I understood exactly why or how it could cause sexual arousal, because it's very graphic. If you think in visualization, if you visualize it in metaphoric terms, it's incredibly graphic.
And how about the word matrix is in the Bible now? Do you remember the matrix?
Oh God, and unicorns. Unicorns are in the Bible.
Yes. It's just become a book. If people can't see those changes, it's all in divine timing, just like we were just talking about earlier. The event happens for each person at their time, at the right time.
when it should. Yeah.
And when
And if you're not waking up, don't worry about it. If you're sat here watching this video going, what? And you're just watching it for comedy value, and you're playing it to your mates, and you're saying, look at these nut jobs. They're talking about, they think they found themselves and their self. Look at this crazy nut job sat here. Look at him with his crazy nut job Mohican haircut. He sat here, thinks that he's achieved the thing that it took Buddha a lifetime to achieve, sat under a tree, praying and meditating, you know? I'm sorry it took Buddha so long for him to find what I've found, but I had a head start. And also where we are now, where the earth is now, whether it's flat or round, who cares at the moment, right? For the purpose of this conversation, it doesn't matter. Where this earth is, because there's no question that this earth has moved. Something's changed. We've come into the age of Aquarius. And maybe in the age of Aquarius, we can see things that we couldn't see before. And maybe that's when our abilities truly waken up. I feel my abilities have always been awake. They've been told. You know what I used to tell people? This is how nutty I am, right? What's my ego going to come out now? Yeah, right. I'm a Jedi Knight. Innit? I'm a Jedi, yeah, except what happened was, right, I come from a different planet, yeah, and I did something wrong. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. They wiped my memory, yeah, but what happened, I got put on this planet, yeah, but while I'm on this planet, my abilities they've got like this dampening field around the planet, yeah, my abilities have been dampened, like, like they do with the thing, so you can't make a phone call. Yeah, and they've done that with my abilities, so I can't call on the light side and tell you that these droids are not important. You know, I can't say that because my powers have been deadened.
Hey guys, the moderators in the room, would you please drop the link to the chat forum, Flame? I'm going to give you our time is up. I'll give you a minute to. Again, inform people where to find your channel, and then I will zip it up. But I appreciate it if you guys would drop the link to, it's a room called Flame, and we go in there and chat and share and our experiences, and we're there for you. And
can I just shout out Secret Truth?
You're going to get a minute, just 1 second, sweetie. But I wanted to say that it is also often said that lunatics, okay, are the actual, as time goes on, they find out that the lunatics were just ahead of their time. So if people are thinking we're crazy and lunatics, it just means, okay, we're ahead of our time a little bit. And I'll give you a minute to, finish up and tell them how to find you. And then I will zip it up while the moderators drop the link. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for listening. I am a little bit crazy. I may have lost my mind by conventional standards. Certainly by society standards, I probably should be sectioned. I need to be put in some kind of mental institute. But I've never been as happy as I am now, and I'm full of compassion and love for everybody. Unconditional love for absolutely every single one of you. Right? And I really, really want to be able to give what I've found to you, or at least show you the way that you could maybe, if you go in that direction, if you listen to your heart, maybe you're going to find the same room that I appear to find myself in with a lot of other people like Michele, who's an absolute beautiful soul. I just want to shout out Secret Truth because I just saw you in the chat. I got the chat up here now. Right. So Secret Truth, I recognise you. Thank you very much for coming into this. And Dark Wolf, Den, thank you very much for subscribing. And Boom Boom as well. Boom, boom, shake, shake the room. It's not boom, boom. It's just boom. But I remember having this conversation. If it's the same boom, boom, I had this conversation with you before, I think. We said, no, it's just boom, shake the room. But I think it should be boom, boom. Anyway, my battery's going to die.
That's fine. We're done here anyways. Just hold.
Divine timing.
Hold the fort for just a second, Richie, because I'll be with you in just 1 second. Yeah. Guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and send this message everywhere. This channel is growing so great, and it's all because of your support, and I appreciate you all so very much. It's your testimonies that are helping me grow. My testimonies, I'm hoping, are helping you grow, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.